flex on the chin. Just keep your head down and carry on. You fight like hell, turn the other cheek. It's what separates the strong from the weak. And that's just the way that the line gets drawn. You gotta keep on living till the fight is gone.
Hello, welcome to episode 13, I think it is, of 10-Minute Misconduct, the unofficial FPHL podcast. But it is episode 2 of Ice Wars Month. And today we have a very special guest, and I have no doubt this is going to be a ton of fun. We have Kato Kaelin. Everybody knows what he's famous for, the O.J. Simpson trial. Don't worry, we'll talk about O.J. Simpson, we promise. But he's here to talk Ice Wars. We're going to talk about all the behind the scenes of Ice Wars. We're going to get to talk to the fighters, but we get to talk to an executive, which is what we wanted to do. As Anna likes to say, we're going to get the tea and the backstage and the behind the scenes stuff. So definitely looking forward to that. So let's welcome in everybody. We got Anna, Edric, and Taylor.
Hey.
Welcome, guys.
Hey.
Hello.
All right, so we got good. We got some good FPHL news this week, and for the first time, I believe, since 2019, the Delaware Thunder are on a winning streak. They won 2 in a row.
2.
How far has Elmira fallen to lose 2 in a row to Delaware? I guess that's what happens when you trade your leading scorers, right?
Yes.
That, and, we have MGM back in the mix. But, yeah, they did. They lost out on some really good leading scorers, and I think that's coming back to bite them a little bit.
I was watching the live feed and all that stuff, and the fans were absolutely going fucking bonkers after the second win. They were all excited. The players were excited. It was nice to see on YouTube. It was very nice to see the fans and players so excited. It's exciting to win 2 in a row after 2 years or 3 years of not winning 2 at all. But yeah,
I mean, it's a good way to get the monkey off the back. I mean, you gotta win 1 and then let's go for 2. I'm happy for that organization, and I'm glad they beat Elmira.
Yeah, but unfortunately, they're going to get fed to the Lions next week. They got 3 against Columbus.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's going to hurt. But, I got to say, I know we've said it before, and I know we'll say it again. Props to the Delaware fans, because they are just loyal, and, win or lose, I love a fan that will stick by their team no matter what.
A journey of 10,000 miles starts with 1 step.
Facts. That's deep.
That's true. And then we have a milestone watch to look out for. Jay Krupp. You can see I got his jersey hanging up back there. He is 7 goals away from 100 career goals, 5 points from 200 career points. The career goals thing, probably not likely to happen this weekend, but 5 points in 3 games, we could see him reach another huge career milestone this week. I'll definitely be rooting for him to reach that milestone. He was another one of our fun interviews to have, and again, he's one of the nicest guys you're ever going to meet. So I'm really hoping for him to reach that milestone. I mean, it's going to happen by, more than likely by the end of the month. So congratulations, early Kruppy. Let's get this done.
100%. You guys know, I've said it a million times. I just adore Jay Krupp. I think he's a great guy on and off the ice. And I can't wait to see. I hope he just gets to celebrate. And it's a big deal. I mean, for any player, but especially one that we all pretty much adore. So
He was a nice guy. I never met him like off the ice or in person or whatever. But it was nice to talk to him on our show. It was very nice.
And obviously, we'd love to have him do it at home. You don't want to do it on the road. You'd love to do something like that at home. That would be great.
Oh, yeah. He's very humble. And the goal that he did get in Winston-Salem this weekend, I mean, the dude got it. It was wrapped for him. I mean, they just handed that goal right to him. But it was earned. He was in the dirty spots, and he got the goal. So.
All right.
Taylor, between me and you, I'm so glad that Columbus finally got a win against the Thunderbirds, because we're a great team, and it was pissing me off so much, just having some losing games on the road with them. And I love my boys, but I was like, damn it, man. Damn it. So Saturday night, I'm celebrated a little more than normal, for sure.
We definitely played piss poor on Saturday. I don't know if, the boys had partied a little too much on Friday or whatever, but they couldn't even connect tape-to-tape passes, much less, put the puck in the back of the net.
You got to blame the refs. It's not the team. It's always whenever your team loses, it's the refs you have to blame.
Yeah. Now
Definitely.
We had a team clinch a playoff berth this week, didn't we, Anna?
Yeah, looks like bingo, which is awesome because they were kind of a little quiet there in the beginning of the season. So,
congratulations, bingo.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting playoffs this year.
Yeah, we're heading into the home stretch of the season. Each game is going to be a lot more fire and all that stuff than normal. But yeah,
and what's scary
I like
for Columbus and Carolina is they have not even played bingo yet.
I know, and if I remember correctly, it might have been Jay Krupp that had the prediction that bingo and Columbus might be for the championship. But we definitely got to keep an eye on our brothers up north because they're definitely doing something right now.
Yeah.
And then I think our last little bit. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Anna. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think our last little bit of news was just the rosters being cut down to the 22. So, I know that there's been a lot of transactions on the FPHL page here recently. What do you guys think about that?
I think
hopefully they're all
which players get released.
Yeah.
So you guys think a lot about that, huh?
Well, I think Columbus, I don't think they have to release anybody. I think I was looking at their active roster is already at 22, so I think they're one of the few teams who don't have to make any chances. They can roll with what they have.
In Carolina, they just signed a former defenseman from last season, Jarrett Meyer. That's one of Ryan Devine's best friends. He's a 6'9".
Oh.
He's a big kid.
That's a giant.
That guy is Cheerios. Wow. It's crunch time. And hopefully the team made the right decisions on who they keep and who they got rid of and all that stuff. Because what is it? 2 more months? I think April 15th is like the last game, or April 17th or something like that. It's the last game of the season. It's crunch time, and it's a do or die for some teams, especially when you look at the stats and the standings and all that stuff. Some teams are mere points away from each other. So each game is huge from here on out. So the fun days are over, basically. It's time to get to business for some of these teams.
Yeah, what is the saying? It's nut cutting time. So it's no more screwing around. You got to get down and dirty, get down to business, and you got to get in playoff shape and in playoff mode.
I've never heard that, but I like that.
Maybe on an upcoming episode, maybe we should all make some playoff predictions. What we all think. Maybe we can get our fans involved and kind of, do a cool little reveal on the wall behind me or something like that. That might be fun.
There we go.
There you go. And maybe we can contact a coffee shop owner, and maybe he can give some coffee as a prize or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
You
know anybody?
I don't know who. I better start looking for one.
All right. Okay, well, I think Kato's here and he's ready to come in, and so let's bring in Kato Kaelin. All right, guys, we are so excited for this next guest. Everybody should know him by now. It's Kato Kaelin. He's a producer for Ice Wars, and we want to welcome to the show. Welcome, Kato.
Yay, Kato! Please stay seated. Get off the ice. Come on, man. Let's brawl.
There you go.
Hey, Lee, I want to mention also, I'm the guy that does the interviews, and with Chris Terry, and I host half the fights. Then I go into the crowd. The best time. The energy of the people are amazing, and I've gotten so many people. I'm not kidding you. We were at River Cree, Edmonton, at the Enoch, and the crowd was shouting that they love this better than UFC, and I'm not making this up. It was off the chart. So much fun and such high energy.
Yeah, no doubt. I've watched UFC. We got Ice Wars. We bought the Ice Wars 2 pay-per-view, and honestly, I was more entertained by that than the UFC fights because there's so much downtime between the fights in UFC, and it seems like that's one of the things you guys were doing right was you cut down the downtime. You didn't waste, we didn't go 20 minutes between fights. Keep the action
Right.
going.
I have a feeling that you and I might be fighting in the KFC fight. You and I in a bucket. That's right. I'll take the chicken breast. You can have a thigh, and I'm gonna beat your butt.
Wow.
Let's go. Come on.
Let's go.
I got $10 on Kato. $10 on Kato.
I love it.
I thought we were friends.
Well, no,
well,
I
you're
got 20 on
absolutely
you.
right.
I have a dual bet going.
Oh, yeah, you guys are right though. It's the fights. It's continuous, and I like the way they did it. We had 14 fights, and I think the pay-per-view might have been, was it 4 hours? I was there for at least 9 hours setting up, and I'm telling you, that was the hardest part, was getting ready. It's like you have to contain and then just get ready for the next 3 hours of high energy. But it was great. It was great doing the fights with Chris Terrian and Phil Gugliano from the DB Trashers. And man, I'm from Wisconsin, and where I lived, we had a little pond in the back, so we always had ice skating. But I was never a hockey guy, and I got really into it because of Charlie Nama, the creator of it. And I started, watching more of the NHL. Although this is not really the NHL, it's because they're getting rid of fights. But I was always a football, basketball, baseball nut in the United States and doing that stuff. But now I'm just 100%. I'm so into it.
Now, since you brought it up, one of the big questions that a lot of us have is, what goes into it behind the scenes, setting up the ice, setting up the cameras, setting up the internet pay-per-view? What all goes into that, and what are your specific responsibilities?
Well, you know what? When I came in from LA, I landed in Edmonton, and right from the airport, I just thought I was going to have a little downtime. We went right into a meeting. I met the TV crew, the directors, and every camera person. It was like a major production as far as, I think it was like an 8-camera setup. They had the room in the back with all the cutting board with, as far as the editing of camera one, of cutting all the shots. I mean, it was like the Academy Awards of hockey, and it was so well done. And so we went with like an A-list staff, and like I said, it was so put together so well. I had no idea it was going to be this this high tech. So it was, there was nothing taken back. They spent a lot of money.
Go ahead.
And that's and I have just had a question. I know that you had back in September of 2011, you were a part of a celebrity fight, I believe, with Michael Lohan, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
It was this fight here the inspiration for you to enjoy, for your interest in combat sports, or did you like combat sports before this, and was this fight an idea for Ice Wars?
Well, the Michael Lohan, first of all, I don't know if you guys know, I did Celebrity Big Brother here, and Celebrity Big Brother, I was with Dina Lohan, and Michael and Dina always were butting heads. I became the one with Michael Lohan. I was a host. I didn't fight. I was one of the broadcasters, and but like I said, I think they had Coolio, the late Coolio, and a lot of the fights. So I got to broadcast the fight, and I also did the audience interaction, which is my, I sort of, that's what I really love, because I love talking to people and off the cuff of whatever's going to happen. But that was shot by a guy named Elkie David, an eccentric billionaire who had a network called Film On, and he still has it. And I had a TV show with him, and from the TV show, they asked me to be one of the hosts. And that was also a pay-per-view that made a lot of money.
But was this like this foundation or an idea for Ice Wars, the celebrity?
Oh, yeah, no, it wasn't. Charlie Nama, you guys know who Charlie?
Yeah.
Okay. Charlie came up with this. I'll tell you what's great about this. He told me this idea a while ago. And in Hollywood, I am up for a few different TV shows. I do a lot of pitch meetings. And when I go into a meeting, the thing you have to do is try to sell the show within about a minute. Charlie's pitch for this is a 10-second pitch. You've got guys competing on ice, and they're fighting without the puck and the stick. And everybody gets the idea. You want them to get the idea, and it's sold immediately because it's a no-brainer. And everybody goes to hockey for the fights.
That's true.
So, what has been your favorite part of producing Ice Wars so far?
I think the favorite part is when I get to travel, I meet all the fighters, and every one of them have been so just cool. And, you know, they're out for blood. They really want to win. They want to win the money and become king of the rink. But I've never been around a group of guys that really love each other. And after the fight, they're bloody, but they're all going to have a beer afterward. I think it's the pre-part of it, but afterward, it is so much fun. Everybody, and I mean everybody, was a friend. There was no, people hating another person. Everybody was cool. I've never seen that before. And I think it's kind of the respect of hockey players and everybody of how they have camaraderie.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say hockey is like one of the sports, especially after meeting so many of the players that, you know, they can beat the shit out of each other and then still go out and have like a burger and a beer after the game. I think that's pretty amazing.
Anna, that's exactly what we all did. We had a burger and a beer, maybe a few beers, but definitely that was the after the fights, you know, we were out all night.
Love that. What you got, Taylor?
All right, so how did you become involved in Ice Wars, and tell us about your role with Ice Wars?
Okay, well, Ice Wars, Taylor, I became involved because of Charlie Nama, who has been a friend of mine for quite a while. And I pitched, like I said, I pitch quite a few different shows. I always do practice pitches. I include Charlie just as a third ear to hear a show that I come up with an idea. And we stayed friends. And then he came up with this idea, and I said, Charlie, I go, this is a TV show. This is a no-brainer. Everybody was going to want to see this. I've shown the clips of the fights before to everybody, and I've got Hollywood friends of that are like actor and producer types. I've probably shown the clips to at least 100 people, if not more. Not one of the 100 have said anything but, this is brilliant. So that's my involvement. I just think it's got to get bigger, bigger, and bigger. I think we started at the ground floor, and now we're going to become a skyscraper. I feel it. I can kind of tell that's where it's going to go. And I just hope it sticks to the basics, and that people that are watching, I hope that no one gets too big, because I think it's raw, and I think that's what people like, to see the rawness of a new sport.
Yeah, and I think you guys started out perfect. The first one, Daniel Amesbury winning. He's probably one of the toughest guys I've ever met. And then for the second one, getting Justin Schmidt in there, I mean, his fights with Joe Pace last season went viral. So again, another perfect choice to get in it. And the fact that both of them won is almost like it was meant to be. So. Right. How do you guys go about getting these guys to agree to come out here, during their off season where they're supposed to basically rest from the season? How do you get them to agree to come out here and do this? And, who's responsible for that?
Lee, I think money is a big incentive. I think money, being on TV, I mean, it's part of the deal, and I think being the king of the rink and to be able to promote yourself and knowing that you're part of a brand new sport, and you can possibly, like Diamond Hands, Daniel Amesbury could probably be the face of it right now. Justin Schmidt also the same. And these guys are brawlers. As you know, you probably know that Daniel did a rough and rowdy. He knocked the guy out in 14 seconds.
Yep.
That got a million hits in 1 hour, 1 million views, and I don't know what it's up at now. It's got to be up at least 50 million. And I think it's the social media that's going to make this sport, like yourself and your show, of the people, watching you guys, and you're talking about it. And we've got the backing now, sort of Barstool Sports, Pat McAfee, and we're getting it. And with your show, 10-Minute Podcast, you've got all these things going out, the misconduct. So, and it's just these little things all matter.
Yeah, and we love Daniel. I've known Daniel since probably 2011 when he played in Columbus, Georgia as a rookie, and then again Justin Schmidt being in Columbus having both of these guys and getting to know them personally, it's really been a blast. And Anna, Ed, and Taylor didn't really know Daniel; they only knew his reputation. They're both two of the nicest guys you're ever going to meet. And I find that with a lot of your hockey fighters, they're big, tough badasses on the ice, but off the ice, they're like giant teddy bears.
Yeah,
Teddy bears.
I don't know if you guys follow my Instagram page at all. Kato_Kaelin. I've got a bunch of little funny comedy bits that I've done with Daniel. And I think if you go back to our last show in August, you'll see them up there. And I've got him cracking up. And, I've got him kind of playing the actor. And he's not an actor. He's the real deal. I'm going, Daniel, you memorize your lines. God darn it, put down your hands. You're not fighting me. So we have that going on. And, what's funny is I just did another show. You guys probably know Sean Avery. Yeah, he was a Ranger for quite a long time. I did 12 years with the Rangers. So I just did his show. It's called No Gruffs Given. He's another guy that just goes, this is the greatest idea. So I think when you're talking to guys that are veterans like himself, who's just so well respected, man, I just think this is like not a home run. I think it's a grand slam.
Speaking about like veterans of like hockey and all that stuff, I have a question. Like for the future of the show going forward and all that stuff, let's pay-per-view. Are you planning on still using all like hockey players from different leagues, or do you have like a set roster of people or fighters that are training just to do this and this alone, and that maybe other hockey teams might be able to like recruit from just like the pool of Ice War fighters?
I think what we're doing is I think the word is getting out, and we're getting people that want to learn to skate. And we even have a few MMA guys that want to skate and fight. We're trying to get a rivalry of guys that were fighters in NHL, and to try to get them to match up again, whether they're retired or not. We're going to try to get guys that hated each other that we can get them on the ice. I mean, we're always looking. We don't know exactly who will be in the next one. Daniel will be. We have people. A lot of people that want to be in there. I think we kind of have to pick and choose what we think will be the best.
Okay, so you probably might have in the future then independent people, fighters, just to do this alone. That maybe teams looking for an enforcer down the road could call you up and be like, hey, can we borrow one of your fighters for like one night or something like that? We have a little pizza set up.
I think that might happen. I think that might happen with like Daniel doing Rough and Rowdy. I'm sure from that he's getting requests from a lot of different things, not just hockey, but probably in fights. But I think he's focused. I know he's focused on the next Ice War.
Well, I can tell you, I know I'm focused on the next Ice Wars. I'm counting the days. I guess last season you'd say, I'm a Columbus River Dragon fan. I'm a Schmitty fan, and I followed his progression, his training all throughout, and to see what you guys, this great idea that you've made come to life, and to take, like you said, something that has never been done before and make it happen. I think the biggest thing you guys might run into is having too many people that want to come on and be on Ice Wars. You're going to probably have the best of the best. So could you expand a little further on like what your vision is going to be for the future of Ice Wars?
Yeah, well, Charlie is getting, because he played hockey, Charlie's getting, because I talk to him probably every day, he's getting so many people that want to just be involved. And you're right, we've got to kind of pick and choose, and we have to make sure we get the best. We are really looking for people that that hated each other and that what the fans want to see. And we also have a line open to fans who've they're starting to request. Charlie, we're setting up an email, like a web page, to find out who do you want to see fight. One of our popular ones was the brothers fighting. It's sort of like in the Super Bowl, the mom had between the Kelsey brothers and whatever Kelsey won. We want the same. We have the two brothers, and we want to do the thing where I interview the mom or the dad, and they have to choose which son do they want to fight or which son they want to win. And I just think that just motivates the crowd. And believe me, we have all the big screens there. When I was in the crowd just talking to these people, first of all, they love being on camera, and like I said, it really is. It's phenomenal. And in the last fight, I don't know if you saw this, how it played. One of the fighters fell and the blade went up, and the referee just had to get all the stitches. I don't know if you saw that. He cut his hand. It was bloody everywhere. We had to stop for a second. and we had an alternate referee came in. So we got the doctors on staff. I think people love seeing knockouts. I can't remember the fighter's name because there were so many, but he had the ZZ Top beard. He looked a lot like Edric. One of the fighters, when he ripped off half the beard and then he took it.
Was it Justice
Justin,
Smoke?
I think, and he dropped
Justice
the hair
Smoke
out like he threw it in there. I said, that is the promo for Ice Wars right there. That little 10-second shot of the beard and then throwing the hair and then shooting it and showing it on the ice. I said that was brilliant because it was real. It was real. It had the little, came off little blood on the root of the beard, and he was in pain.
Oh wow!
I think that was Justice Smoke that pulled the beard. We're actually going to be talking.
Yeah,
to him
I was
in a
actually
couple of weeks
watching.
coming to Florida.
Oh, was it Smoke?
Yeah, I think so.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was pretty incredible.
Well, if you need a stunt double for my hair and all that stuff, just let me know. I'll come up there. And borrow it,
Mine's not
I
quite
was
as
going
long
to
as
ask you,
yours.
Ed, what do you charge for beard rentals?
For you, nothing. For you, nothing.
I love it.
I'll just send you my email after the show, okay?
All right, I love it. Then I'll give the rest of it to Taylor so he can finish his mustache with the beard.
Oh!
You, Taylor, I got you.
Taylor.
Because my line broke.
You have lots of love. Here, I'll beard of love. Here you go.
Now, where are all of you in Canada in 4 different places?
No, we are in different places. I'm in Michigan.
Okay.
Anna, you're?
El Paso, Texas.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in Rio Rancho, New Mexico, just north of Albuquerque.
Okay. And Taylor?
Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Oh, I thought. See, I'm talking. I thought you all were in Canada. Oh, so great.
I'm 3 miles from Canada. I'm 3 miles. There's a bridge
Yeah,
that
it
goes
counts.
across the Lake Huron, and I'm in Canada. I actually got
you're by Lake Huron?
Yes, Lake Huron, right? Blue Water Bridge, Port Huron.
Oh yeah, I think you're the guy that shot the balloon out of the sky.
Yeah, I was. I had my darts. I'm part of
That was
the
you.
dart league. I threw it and I got it.
Because Anna was telling me that you're full of hot air. Oh,
There you go.
Oh,
He's only known you 20 minutes, and he already knows you.
But it was an alien. It was an alien, not hot air. It was aliens.
Fingers crossed. I'm hoping.
Kato, next show, X-Files 3. Next show, X-Files 3.
I don't know if you guys know, I used to host I hosted the biggest Comic-Con. I was the host for 4.5 years before COVID. I traveled the world with as being the host of Wizard World. We're the largest traveling Comic-Con. And David Duchovny would be part of that. The whole crew of X-Files. I had all the actors from Marvel movies, all the actors from DC Comics, from Jason Momoa, Aquaman. And the thing is, I had shown most of the actors the clips of Ice Wars, and that's so we're trying to get the celebrity endorsements, bigger ones. And I don't know if you saw the beginning, and I had the not Tom Cruise. Did you guys pick that up? The Tom Cruise does the intro to it with a guy from a show called Outlander. So I filmed all those because of my show. They came and did a quick bit, and it's all in my Instagram. So you got to go back in August of all the people that we had talk about Ice Wars. But like I said, not just you guys, but everybody loves it. So I think it's exciting trying to start a whole new sport. And I think that's what people are commenting on social media. I honestly, on my Twitter feed itself, I had more people saying like, this is the fucking best sport I've ever seen in my life. And I was trying to get that energy of everybody just tweeting and retweeting. And I think that's how success is built.
Definitely. I lost my mind. I know on the last pay-per-view event, I'm literally pacing around my living room. Like my neighbors are like, what? I just moved in. They're like, this lady's crazy. Because I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm just going crazy for Schmitty. I was so excited for him. And I'm telling you, I think the whole FPHL, honestly, between Amesy and there's a bunch of other people, Justice Smoke and some other familiar names that we've seen in the league. So yeah. I think it's just going to continue to get bigger and bigger.
Well, Schmitty brought in a little film crew, and I forgot the gentleman that did the filming, but he did great little like 2-minute films, and all kind of in slow motion. You probably saw those. But when I met him, I knew that I said this guy's going to win. This guy's going to win. And you guys, the names, like I said, they escape me because I'm working on other shows now. But the one guy who broke his hand, he might have been the winner also, but he couldn't fight the next one. He won the first two, I think, and then he had a broken hand, and he couldn't.
Oh, my.
He couldn't.
I remember that. Yeah.
He just built like a pit bull. He was shorter, but boy, he was solid.
And like what Anna was saying about like all this, and you were saying about it growing and all stuff. See, before Anna and Lee brought this up to me up here in Michigan, I never heard about it. But then I start watching it, and I'm like, this shit is pretty cool. It's pretty cool on what they're doing. They're taking like the best of two worlds, hockey and maybe UFC or boxing, and putting them all in together for a quick, and for somebody for ADHD and all that stuff. It's good. It's like in your face and right to it, and never boring.
Yep. No, that's 100% correct. And I think it also, like Lee said, it's our pacing. It's never really a dull moment. There's always something kind of going on. And
Right.
It's just a whole, I think it's exciting as a fan too, to kind of go, see, hey, I'm into this new sport now. I'm kind of thinking back when the first MMA, the first UFC, of how that eventually grew. And now I think they're on UFC, 992 or whatever?
Yeah.
So
Infinity and beyond.
it just keeps going. So we're trying to find the next place. We have, right now we're at 4 choices. And I don't think you guys know that we have to go through gaming commissions. And in America, it'll be our first one there. So we're trying to get the gaming commission in Philadelphia or New York or New Jersey and Vegas and Wyoming. So I think Wyoming's approved, which I think it's really great, because why not show what a great thing happening in Wyoming? I mean, we'll be successful anywhere, but already we've got 4 different states all kind of bidding for us. And I said to Charlie, we got to stay out of anybody that wants to do any kind of be corrupt. We don't want this to go corrupt. We want this to be really solid and, on the up and up. And that's the last thing I want. And that's a really tough thing to battle.
Charlie, you got anything?
Yeah. So, can you explain the sequence of events, like for setting up the venue?
Oh, yeah. Every venue is going to be different, but I'll give an example of our last one. We knew we had 14 bouts, 28 fighters. We actually had a few more than that because we did stuff before it even aired. We had fights going on before that you guys didn't see before airing. And so we get there, we set up all the camera shots, they set up the ice, and we do a run through with the talent. Obviously, they're not fighting, but we do how it's going to be with a press conference. So we shoot a press conference. That's on live. That's before the fight. And then I go in and I interview the fighters beforehand while they're taping up and getting ready. We go over camera shots, the introductions of who's going to talk first, who's going to bring in the fight, who closed the show. And if something happens that's unexpected, which I think is the best, we go either into a crowd shot. I talk to somebody, and when they called me in the last fight, I wasn't supposed to be doing some of the fights, but I did the first one of the fights where I announced with Chris and Phil, and then they said stay here, and I was adding kind of little humor to some of them, and then they loved it, so I ended up doing 5 of them. Then I went back in the crowd. I was nonstop. I was on Price is Right, like the guy who says, come on down. I was coming on down like 19 different times. Kato, come on down. Come on down. So I honestly, I was nonstop. And I know when I got home to LA the next day, I couldn't speak. I lost the voice, but it was worth it.
That's great. So, of course, Ice Force 3 is coming up. They had to reschedule. It was originally going to be in Cheyenne in a few weeks. Do you have any updates as to when it's going to be rescheduled, and is it still going to be in Cheyenne?
We don't know. We're kind of getting a bid. We're trying to find, because other states now, I mentioned, they do want us to come there. I think it's going to be in May. And we're trying to do a big promo push and trying to get advertisers, and we're trying to get the right. We're trying not just social media, but I think I was telling Charlie, I think it's good to blitz the market probably a month before, just to do a 10-second spot of "We're coming to your town, get ready," and show some clips. And I just think that gets people kind of like, "Oh wow, they're coming to Cheyenne. This is going to be great." And it's sort of baiting the breath of the fan, and the fan will make it happen even bigger because of those little like social media commercials and commercials. But I think Lee.
Okay. Yeah, when I saw you at first announce Cheyenne, I thought that's actually a great location. It's centralized right off of I-80. It's 100 miles from Denver. It's maybe a 4-hour drive from Salt Lake City, and you have Nebraska, you have Montana. It's only a 5-6 hour drive or something from Albuquerque. It's like maybe 500-600 miles. It's a great centralized location, but obviously if you can get into New York City, you can't beat New York City.
I agree. I also like Cheyenne. I think we could do some great stuff of bringing the fighters out on horses, or putting some skates on some horses and putting them on the ice. I just think Cheyenne. I don't know why. I just love that vibe. I mean, New York, you're right. Philadelphia would really be great because Chris Therien played for the Flyers, and he was the voice of the Flyers for 14 years. So I think that's sort of an automatic of getting just his fan base and all the Flyer crowd. So I know we got some things to do of figuring out how to do it, but I think it's good. I think May is the date that it'll happen, sometime in May.
And of course, Vegas is the fight capital of the world.
You can't go wrong with all these things. It's picking the right. Vegas has something that goes on every weekend. That's the tough part. We have to know who we're going to compete with. So, if we can compete with something that I know will add to us, if it's either some certain UFC fight, but we got to be the number one priority. We can't have, we want someone on our coattails. We don't want to be on anybody's coattails because we want to make sure that we're the number one, the most talked about in that city.
Well,
definitely.
You haven't mentioned Detroit.
Detroit, I've always loved that. I think Detroit filming it at the Red Wings. We know some of the owners there. So I forget is it Little Caesar?
Yeah, Little Caesars Arena or Ford Field for the football team if you're trying to do it that way, bro.
Yeah, but I think that any place in America I think is going to work. I'm from Wisconsin. I love Michigan. I just think a cold place works. Any team that's got a hockey team will work. Even a hockey team that's like the Milwaukee Admirals, it doesn't have to be NHL. I just think there's always a base of people that want to watch fights.
Absolutely.
We are the hockey town of the north.
I love it. I love it.
Columbus, Georgia, hockey town of the south.
You know what? Maybe you guys need to come down to the next fight. I know the crowd would love to see Anna.
We're actually planning on. I was excited for it to be Cheyenne because it's I don't fly, so it's like a driving distance for me. So I'm pretty pumped, but I feel like I would get my ass in the car, drive to Philly or New York, like regardless, to be at Ice Wars. Like, count me in. I definitely plan on being there.
I'll make you a deal. If we're in Cheyenne or wherever, and you're there, you're the first interview I do in the crowd.
Okay.
Got to start with the
count me
sex
in.
appeal.
I'll be there. Yeah. Whatever.
You got to be crazy.
Yeah.
Gotta be crazy.
Oh, I am. You should see me. I'm
crazy.
like possessed at hockey games. I'm like, oh, all sweet and nice, but then I'm also like, fuck you, So you'll see. I promise I won't disappoint.
Oh no, Anna, you're possessed on this podcast. I love it.
Yeah, a little bit.
I love it. Yeah, so we're trying to stay busy and to figure out how everything's going to work out for us. And I'm sorry, that's my phone. Anyway, I want to tell you.
You owe us a
one
beer.
sec. Hello. Yeah. Yeah. NHL. Hold on.
All right.
We're bigger than you. We're bigger than you.
Yes.
The only thing that would have been better than a banana.
Questions because I'm going to do your show again. This is just a little teaser.
There we
All
go.
right.
Good.
Sounds
Good.
The only fruit that would have been better than answering a banana would have been an orange.
Yeah.
I love it.
You see,
How about an Apple phone?
Oh,
I was going to
got one of those right here.
I was going to say I own a coffee company. So, what's your favorite beverage in the morning?
I'm a coffee guy.
All right,
Not OJ?
but not orange juice, right?
Not orange juice anymore. Did you see what TMZ did to me and my new bride, my wife? They have me on TMZ. Oh,
Yeah.
it was just 2 weeks ago. They show where I live. I know all my neighbors. So we're walking, and I'm taking oranges off the tree. And the guy's filming me, but he's telling me to take the oranges. Next thing you know, on TMZ, it says Kato stealing OJs, to make OJ. I'm like,
I
you
did
guys
see
can
that.
Google that.
I
It's
saw that.
online.
I saw that.
Yeah,
That's
we
what I
saw
said in the
that.
chat.
I laughed. Whatever. I said, I only do grapefruit now. No more OJ.
That's so funny.
I'm just glad I can afford my own couch now.
There you
Ho!
go.
Oh,
So let's address the elephant in the room, Kato.
I love it. I want you guys. I want to tell you my social media up there. Get all your fans to follow. And
for sure.
the podcast that I do is called 1 Degree of Scandalous, and I do it with a gentleman from Fox Sports and NBC Sports named Tom Zenner. So we're at YouTube, 1 Degree of Scandalous. Tell everybody to subscribe. And then my social media is Kato_Kaelin, Kaelin. Check out my Instagram. I think you guys will crack up.
Will do.
Absolutely. Hell, we're
Taylor,
cracking up
wake
today.
up! Taylor, it's me, Kato. Wake up, Taylor.
Hey, Kato, how about we do your show? We do your show. You did ours. Let's do yours.
You got it. You guys got to get into a scandal. Maybe someone fights Lee.
Oh,
Dude,
Ooh.
I'm in.
Fuck you, Ed.
Taylor,
Fuck you.
go. Taylor,
I
closer.
love it.
Go.
I will follow you, and I'm so glad I got this chance. I told Charlie I'd love to do your podcast, so it's great. And you guys are terrific. I really mean it.
This
my
is
heart.
great.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
I got to ask the question that's probably on everybody's mind, Kato. Did he do it?
In my opinion, I've said before, I think he's guilty. I've said it on a few shows. I think someone needs to get him on ice and kick his ass. Yeah.
Well, I can say
that.
I can say this: the glove fits.
Oh boy, Lee, you've been waiting to do that joke the entire show.
Yeah, it's been sitting over here the
I love it. You are the chief.
It has
baby.
been
You
great.
are. You're the man.
It has been so awesome. Your energy is just like infectious, and I love that about you. Before we let you go, I just wanted to say I did check out some like older clips from you, and not only did you have the best hair back in the day, having the courtroom, just laughing, that's a skill, and so, I'm impressed. Like, hats off to you, because that's impressive.
Well, Anna, thanks so much. Yeah, last week I did some stand-up. I host a lot of comedy clubs. And I just did I do the intros and I do all that stuff. So I do the first 3 minutes. Obviously I'd be remiss if I didn't mention who I am. I tell the audience, if you're under 40, Google me, please. So, I said that I remember the times of OJ. I haven't seen him in 28 years it's been. And I said, it looks a little different now. He looks older and he's gained some weight. I remember a different time when it was only the glove that didn't fit. Now it's up to you. So.
Hey, Kato, where's your hair?
I had to cut it for a show. I'm doing a little part in a film, so I cut it. But my hair will be long in about 2 weeks.
I'm counting you. I'm watching.
I just got a new pilot called Teen Court. That'll be coming out probably in 6 months, and it's phenomenal. I'm the host of it, and I'm shooting, being busy with everything. But ice scores right now is a top priority, and I think we got a winner. 10-minute misconduct. Sure. I love you. Kato Kaelin saying bye-bye.
We love you, Kato. Thank you so much. We'll see you.
Thank you so much, man.
See you guys soon.
Bye.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
I think I touched this right here.
Touch the button. Touch the button.
I think I touched
Oh my God, that was such a great episode with Kato. I cannot believe his energy. I think he made us all laugh tonight. It was great. I mean,
Yeah.
the stuff that he was telling us and all that stuff, I just couldn't believe. And I'm looking for different places to grow Ice Wars. It is just showing a big, optimistic future on the sport of Ice Wars. So there's a lot of things to look forward to in the next few years with Ice Wars, guys, and with Kato Kaelin. Hopefully we can get him back on one of our shows.
Yeah, he is an absolute blast. I wish I had that same energy level that he has. Absolutely great guest. So looking forward to seeing him again for sure.
He was hilarious. I thought last week with Justin Schmidt and the four-legged pig was the funniest thing.
And the grinding in the bathtub.
I think Kato might have passed Justin on the hilarity meter. That was so fun.
He had some mad energy. Oh my God! I mean, it's 7 o'clock at night my time here, and it is wow. That's mad energy. Love it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a good face for the business. You know what I mean? He's got the energy, and he's very optimistic, and he's business oriented. He's already reaching out to other venues, searching for places. I'd like to see it happen in New York. I think that'd be phenomenal.
All right.
I could see it happening in Columbus. I really could.
I think Columbus would pack the house. I don't even think they'd have to even have people come as far as from Atlanta to fill that house up.
With the collaboration of Scott Brand and Kato Kaelin, those are two those are two powerhouses come together. So they would just basically have to go to Waffle House and the arena would be sold,
Scott is absolutely hilarious.
By the time they got their waffles, by the time they sit down and got their waffles, the arena would be filled. So, I mean...
Yeah, Scott and Kato I would literally call them the gruesome twosome because I know they would just roast everybody all night long, and I could totally see that. That would be so freaking funny.
Yeah.
Also, in exciting news, we have Daniel Amesbury coming back on next week. I know I'm super pumped. He is such a nice, down-to-earth, genuine dude, and I am really looking forward to hearing how his training's going for Ice Wars and just, I don't know. I loved having him on the first time, so I think having him on again is such a great idea, especially for Ice Wars month.
Yeah, he's got another rough and rowdy fight coming up too, and I think it's in West Virginia. So he's got that coming up. He's got the the hat tricks. He's got Ice Wars. So we've got a lot more to talk about him this time than we did, when we first had him on. I'm looking forward to it. And, he's getting a bit of a bad rap, I think, from some fans. He's got the reputation. I'll come out right out and say it. As much as I love, guys that there's players I'm talking to who can't stand him. They call him a dirty player. I personally don't believe he's a dirty player. I think, and I'll have no problem asking him this. I think what happens is when he's out there on the ice, he just goes into a completely different mode, and it's balls to the walls. Like, if you have the puck and he's on the ice, you better have your head up because I guarantee you he's got you locked down and targeted, and he's going to come and he's going to try and skate through you.
Yeah, he's not your average hockey player. He is tough. I mean, he's tough. Yeah. And I don't think he's out there looking to intentionally hurt people. I really don't. Just by talking to him, he's such a nice guy and genuine. I don't see him intentionally going out hunting heads, so to speak.
No, I think he's very competitive. I don't think he's out there to, I guess, once that whistle blows and the game is on, I don't believe that he's out there to hurt anybody, like you guys said, but I also believe that he's very competitive. So he's not out there to make friends, but I don't think he's out there to intentionally injure people as well, neither.
People also need to realize his style of hockey that he had to come into and what he had to face himself. I mean, you had to be tough, and you had to be hit, and you had to be willing to hit, and you had to be willing to fight when you first come in. These kids nowadays, I mean, obviously the skill set's higher, but you gotta know you're still on the ice, and you will get hit. You've got to pay attention.
And the game has changed since the last time he played before this year. So, and that's, maybe something else to talk to him about is how much the game changed, and maybe the transition has been a little bit tough for him. You can't hit a guy like today like you could 10 years ago.
Correct.
No, you get an ejection.
I mean, you're seeing this in the NHL too. That they're trying to throttle back on some of the hits. They're trying to throttle back on some of the fights and all that stuff. So I understand all this concussion protocol and all that stuff, but I think that the old time hockey isn't there as it once was.
Yeah, it's like Ryan Reeves last week or a couple weeks ago put a massive hit on a guy, 100% clean, and there were fans saying that was a dirty hit. That was dangerous. It was clean. Just like I think, my opinion, the first hit that got Amesbury suspended, I think it was a clean hit. It's one of those, is it clean? Yes. Was it necessary? Maybe not, but that doesn't make it dirty.
Well, I know we definitely got a ton to talk about next week regarding all that.
Yeah.
So if you guys have some comments, leave them down below so we can ask Amesy next week. Also, pretty exciting. We are going to be teaming up with Bench Miner. I know that most of our viewers probably know who Sean is. He has an amazing podcast, a great Facebook page. So make sure you check him out. And we have some more news coming in the future regarding our collaboration. So
let's get to our friends of the show. We have Pro Hockey News and the Pro Hockey News podcast. Lou Lafredo, the publisher of Pro Hockey News, again, still looking for people willing to cover the FPHL. Again, get you press passes into the games. Get to fully cover the game, full access to the players. So his email's in the description. If you're interested in it, shoot him an email.
we have our friends over at Pred TV. They are, catching online predators that are going after our children. So definitely check out their Facebook page and their TikTok. And we've got the Chattahoochee Valley Warriors, who are a great organization getting veterans in skates on the ice and learning how to play some hockey.
And then I sponsored this episode with Willow's Enchanted Coffee, the Enchanted Coffee Co-op, your source of best fresh coffee. Harvest a cup, less than 3 months.
It is amazing coffee. I absolutely love it.
Yep, another great episode in the books. And looking forward to next week. Daniel Amesbury, good old Diamond Hands. He's going to be on again, and you never know what's going to happen next week. Anything's possible.
Yep, and if you guys haven't subscribed yet, subscribe, because we've got more Ice Wars coming for you. Obviously, there's more coming in the future with future episodes. Give us a thumbs up and leave us some guest ideas down in the comments. Let us know what you guys want. So we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Smash the subscribe button. Smash.
Bye.
Bye.